Hey everyone, just remember this is one of a 6-part video series with Seth Muncie at Disc Golf Strong. Check out the description to links to the other 5. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely and I'm here with Seth Muncie of Disc Golf Strong. And this is episode 3 of our 6-part series, so make sure you check out the description for all the other videos in the series. As part of my training for the 2022 tour, I got the engine and the body of this vehicle driving really well, but there's so many nuts and bolts to work on. The last episode we worked on mobility and stretching, or lack of stretching. You have to watch the video. And one interesting thing that I want to point out is that we decided ahead of time that you didn't give me these exercises and these drills to practice. You wanted to see me, assess me as a person that was new to this. And I also didn't want to be making a video where I said, hey, look at how good I am at doing these things. They're so easy. They're not easy. And so if I struggle with them, it's because they are hard, right? I mean, really good things in life come from doing things that are hard, and they're hard. So when you see me falling all over the place today, it's not on purpose, it's because these are difficult. But today we're going to talk about stability and balance. And obviously that's important to disc golf if I just use those buzzwords. But when I dig a little bit deeper, I'm kind of hard pressed to actually quantify why. So why is balance and stability so important?
Yeah, well, balance and stability go hand in hand. If you improve your stability, then you're going to improve your balance. So when I think about stability, when we think about it, we're going to just kind of stick to like joint stability. So your hip joint, we're going to work on getting your hip joint more stable. We're going to work on getting your shoulder joint more stable. And through the exercises, we'll build some stability like through your ankle and your foot complex or your foot. So when you improve the stability and how everything kind of works together and how the brain thinks about making sure that joint doesn't just like, you know, make sure it resists the forces that want to take it out, then your balance is going to improve. Now there's other ways that we improve our balance, and so if you try these exercises, you don't ever see any improvement, then I would say just go talk to maybe your doctor. And I'm not saying that because there's something seriously wrong, but sometimes balance is connected also to these little organs we have behind our ears called vestibular organs, and they tell us if we're going up or down, forward and back, side to side. If I do this, the reason I'm not falling over is because these organs do all the calculations and tell my muscles what muscles to turn on so that I don't fall over if I'm standing like that. So sometimes people, they go, man, my balance is off and I just can't get better balance, and it may be something here. So you just need to go and get checked out and make sure that your vestibular system is working okay. So that's why I say I add that little extra in there. There's a lot that goes into being more balanced, but the biggest part of it for most people is the stability, the lack of stability, and so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And I love that how you mentioned that, Scott, in the beginning, where you said, you know, you didn't practice these exercises and they're hard. Now you may look at these exercises, you go,
they look so easy,
right? You go, they're simple. Those look so simple. Simple does not equal easy. Right? Simple does not equal easy.
Sound familiar? Everyone who's ever come to one of my seminars or clinics?
Yeah.
My exact words exactly.
Yeah, similar, yeah.
Well, I look at, like, you know, 90-year-olds doing Tai Chi, and if they've been doing it a while, they have such great balance and it looks so easy.
Yeah.
If I did it, I would not look as balanced as the 90-year-old.
Yep.
Because they have practiced the skill.
Yep, exactly.
So this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to not do such a great job again for your viewing pleasure.
All right, so simple does not equal easy, but we're going to get in, and that's also where we should start. Always start simple. If you look at a move on you know, you're looking on YouTube and it's a super complex exercise, that doesn't mean it's more effective. That doesn't mean you're going to get more out of it. You're probably going to get less out of it because your brain is trying to think like, what the heck am I doing here? I can't even organize my joints correctly. I can't even stabilize. So it could potentially regress you, you know, versus doing something like what we're going to do right now, where you can actually learn learn how to own that position and get better at that position. Okay, so also, before we jump in this, why does this matter? As I said in the assessment video, that single disc golf happens on a single leg, or it happens in a split stance or a offset stance most of the time.
You want to show that?
Yeah, so I'm on a single leg. If I'm here, okay, I'm single leg, kind of a crossover step, which is kind of like a single leg offset stance, okay, single leg, and then I transition and I'm single leg, okay. So if my hip, if I do this, okay, and I'm like this, just doing that exercise, I may be able to go here and you go, but if I plant, I'm great. Well, I'm compensating, okay, because we're great compensators, right? So I'm able to compensate, but my brain's trying to do way many more things to keep that joint stable. Single leg deadlift or hip stability for the putt, okay? If I'm here and I putt and I'm like that, and my brain is trying to figure out how to stay stable in this offset, this split stance here, okay, stagger stance, and then it's also trying to, below my level of consciousness, it's also trying to figure out how to stabilize me and stop me here. That's a whole bunch of other stuff that my brain's got to try to figure out. It doesn't, don't try to figure it out then. Try to figure it out now in these moves, okay, so that when you go and you putt, your brain is trying to solve less puzzles. You don't want your brain to have to try to solve so many movement puzzles while you're trying to putt, right? So, okay, so let's get into these exercises. So the first one we're gonna do, we're gonna get on the ground and we're gonna do a bird dog. So many people have seen bird dogs. You're gonna get on all fours, okay, what we call the quadruped position. So at all fours position, this is a simple looking exercise, and you will see this exercise all over YouTube. You'll see this exercise all over Instagram, and most people, they skip right past this exercise, or they do it once or twice, and like, this is way too easy, and I'm going to move on, okay? But again, simple is not easy, and we're gonna make this a little harder. So dig your toes into the ground. There you go. So Scott's shoulders are over his hands, over his wrists. His hips are over his knees. Okay, so that's a really good placement. So I want you to brace your abs like you're trying to brace for a little punch. Okay, brace for that punch. Okay, and now lift your right shoulder and your left foot and extend them out. Okay, so he's driving his heel back and he's driving his hand out, and then come back down slowly and then go the other side. So what we're trying to do is not move here. Okay, like how Scott said, he's just starting these exercises, so he's getting a little bit of movement, and that's not bad. It's okay. The brain is trying to figure out how to do these better. So his brain's trying to figure out how to not move this while he moves his hip and his arm, okay? His leg and his arm. So go ahead, do that again. He's doing a great job. He's not collapsing through here. There, good. And then come back down. And then go the other side. Now what I'll do, I don't have anything with me right now, but I'll sometimes put a foam roller or a tennis ball or something in someone's lower back here, and I'll say, don't let this drop, okay? And so now they can't shift, so do it bad, like I was showing earlier. So, boom, okay, and he's just saying, now go fast while you do it, just side to side. It's like, oh, this is easy, it's a simple bird dog. What is this even accomplishing, right? That's not the goal. He's twisting, he's rotating, he's shifting side to side. That's not the goal of this exercise. Stability here, and we're challenging our ability to hold this by extending one arm and the opposite hip. So why are we getting more stable? The shoulder, if he lifts this hand up, that shoulder has to stabilize and keep him from rotating or moving around there. This hip, the opposite hip, has to stabilize, okay, when it's on the ground and the other foot is moving, all right? And so that is really important, is that cross body. When we're doing this, he's lifting one, stabilizing the other side, okay? Our body works in big X's, the left hip over to the right shoulder on the front, and same on the back, okay? If I'm going to the front, I would say left hip, right shoulder, and let's just go back, right hip, left shoulder. If you're throwing, okay, a backhand, I'm here, left glute, left hip, right shoulder, okay? They're the ones that are connecting. If I'm here, right, left hip, right shoulder. There's that cross body connection and the core connection. So that's one thing we're working when we do those opposite lifts, is we're challenging that. Okay, now we're gonna take it up a little bit. We're gonna go to an X lift. So go down into all fours again.
So we're gonna grab a knee.
Yep. So if you got anything wrong with your knees, like any pain, then you can do this on a carpet, on a rolled up towel, a pillow, something like that. Scott's gonna use a shirt.
I'm just being a baby because it's dried Nevada grass. Put quotes around the word grass.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to go hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, okay? He's got a really good, strong position here. He's pushing his hands into the ground. Don't push your hands in the ground, just let your chest kind of drop a little bit. There, right? So we don't want that. That looks all like constricted up and everything. Push your hands in the ground, drive here to the sky, push those hands down to the ground and lift up like you were doing earlier. Sure. Boom. Okay, that's a good, strong, solid position. His shoulder's in a good, strong position right there. So we're gonna keep the knees on the ground, and we're gonna do kind of like a, what we just did, the bird dog. He's gonna lift the left knee and the right hand. So lift the left knee just barely off the ground and lift the right hand barely off the ground. Good, and then come back down and switch. And we're again, not trying to rotate through here or twist. So he's getting a little twisting, a little weight shift. That's not something I'm worried about because he's learning the movement. His body's learning how to do this, okay? And then back down. And we're gonna hold, we just hold a couple seconds and lift. Good, he's shifting a little bit, but again, this is just something that he's working through this exercise, okay? And as he does this more, his body will figure out how to do this better, okay? And then one more, the other side. Good. And back down. Okay, so we're gonna make this a little bit harder, okay, for you. Now, I would say start with the bird dog and start with this one. Don't move to the one that we're about to do. Scott's gonna show you. But so this is gonna be the knees elevated X lift. So it's toes into the ground, okay? Lift the knees barely off the ground. By the time you lift your knees up, you're almost too high, okay? And let's just start with that with left hand. And he's just gonna lift the left hand only. Good, and then back down. And then now right hand, and he's trying not to shift, okay? He's having to shift the weight, and so this is only the second time he's ever done this, okay? So his body's learning how to do this. So lift, and then lift, one more.
It's so hard.
Is this hard?
Yes.
This is hard, okay? And back down and rest. Okay, we're gonna do that again, but we're just gonna shift to the feet only, okay? So we're gonna lift once you're ready. Go ahead, knees barely off the ground. Lift the left foot off the ground, left toe, good, and back down. And you might find the toes are easier than the hands, and then right toe. Good, let's go one more time each side. And then the other side. Good, and back down. Okay, so that's the knees, that's the X lift and the knees elevated X lift. You got anything to say on that?
Yeah, it's actually exercise.
Yeah.
It is, it's hard.
It's
not
work.
easy.
It's work. Okay, when he lifts when he's down here, okay, and he's got his knees elevated and he lifts, the body wants to do that. So my shoulder is having to stabilize, my knees, my hips, my core, everything is having to engage so that I don't move. Now, maybe once I do these, I may go a little bit like that. That's okay if you're doing that. You're gonna work towards doing that first time I showed it, where there was very little movement, okay? All right, let's go to the next exercise. We're gonna go to half kneeling. So that's here. Okay, so this is the half kneeling position. This is a great position. If you ever watch any of my videos, like on my Disc Golf Strong Instagram or the Facebook or like at our YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of the videos like that I do on tour with the pros. I've got a lot of them doing half kneeling work. Okay, like halos are on the head. We'll get that into the preparation video later on. But this half kneeling position is awesome because when we are bent like this, okay, with our knees bent and we're in this half kneeling position, we're not able to use our hamstrings and other big muscles to stabilize us. We're putting them in a position that is not good for that's not a position of strength for the hamstrings and stuff, okay? So we're gonna come down, come back in that half kneeling, dig that toe back into the ground. Good. Okay, and he's just going to slightly brace his abs like he's bracing for a punch. Yeah, find a good spot for your knee. And we'll just do 1 or 2 reps each side. Okay? Normally we do this where he has better knee protection. Okay, and lift. And he's just trying to lift his front foot off the ground.
Oh my God.
He's trying to lift his front foot off the ground.
We'll edit this part out. We won't.
And stabilize. Good. Okay, and let's go to the other side.
Wow.
So this is real this is really working that hip stability, okay?
Oh, toes in.
There you go.
It's harder
Shoulders
with the
over
toes
the
in.
hips, yep. And lift.
This is the one, who did you say hates this one?
Oh, Ricky.
Ricky.
Ricky doesn't like this one.
This is, if you see Ricky, tell him he's right. But the fact that this is hard to do is exciting because it means as I get better at this, like it means I'm nowhere near my ceiling. It means it's something that I could radically improve. The worse it is, the more gain I can have. So I'm excited that it's hard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, jump on up. I'm going to show something real quick. So if you're doing this position, okay, and let's say that you can't do that, you can't really like lift and hold, then you go here, right? Go onto your toe and back down. Go onto your toe or go onto your heel, okay? And you can work that until you're ready to go here. Now if I'm here and let's say I start doing this and I pull back, that is not instability really. Stability is not the lack of movement, okay? Stability is I'm doing this and I can still stay under control. I'm not doing this, okay? I'm not like a brand new driver, 16, you're auto-correcting like this on the steering wheel. I'm making little micro movements in my hip to bring me back to this. And then eventually I'm gonna go here, where I go here. And so I'm stabilizing the hip on one side while I'm moving the hip on the other side. If I'm throwing, I'm stabilizing the hip on one side as I'm rotating the hip on the other side, right? If I'm here too, I've got to have stability while this hip is swinging around, right? And so that's going to challenge that part of the stability. Last thing, if you can't get on the ground, your knees are like, no way, I'm not doing it. That's okay. We're just going to do a standing. You're going to get a little more, could get a little more hamstring and stuff engagement in this because we're not in a half kneeling, but that's okay. It's just going to be a standing, a tall standing, just lifting the knee up. So go ahead and stand nice and tall. Good. And you're just going to drive your knee up. And I want you to hold, bring that foot right underneath your knee. Good, ankle underneath your knee. Go ahead and keep that toe elevated there. Okay, and get that knee a little higher. Boom. And hold that, and then switch sides. Good. So getting some stability in there and thinking about standing, all right, that's awesome. So thinking about standing nice and tall, okay, so that I'm not going there to get my stability, right? I'm here, and then I want to make it, not make it a little harder, but to get a little more engagement, I can push, go here, push, that gets my core engaged, and then that can move us to where, that's a starting point to where now once I'm stable here, then I can start experimenting with them like here, 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 right? So I can start experimenting with that, but first start doing this before, because if you can't do this, don't try to do a crossover behind you to come up into that. So start with that stability position at the top and spend some good time doing that. And so that's what we're going to be working on in Scott's program, and is through those. And then so if you want to learn more about that stuff, just the Performance Academy or the the YouTube and all that is where you'll find some more videos pertaining to hip stability and shoulder stability.
I mean, I love it. Like I said, the further I am from the ceiling, the further I can improve. So that's not a bad thing at all. So, well, thank you. So remember, this is not a substitute for not doing Disc Golf Strong programs. This is very specific to me. This is also not all the exercises and things we're going to be doing. We just didn't want to make a 3-hour video of me pretending something was difficult so you'd feel better about it. If think they bought it? That I was pretending that it was hard?
No, I think it was hard.
Okay,
showed,
maybe it was
that's
hard.
okay, it was hard.
But this is not everything that we are working on this week. This is just a couple things to show you guys what we're doing. Important things, but you definitely want to sign up with you. The next video is going to be strength and power. And I don't know, I think that exactly 100% of players want to have more power, although we had to start with mobility and balance and stability and all these things first, but now we're going to have power. And so make sure you watch the next video, subscribe, like, hit the alert button, give Seth the thumbs up, and check out the next video. Thanks, guys.
Take care.